Hey guys, I'm Val and this is my story. I was born in Fiji and my mum was a nurse and my dad was a policeman. And dad would have struggled being a policeman and then looked to move into the army, where he developed PTSD and he struggled with the things that he would have done out on the job and struggling with nightmares and just imagery that went on in his head. So to deal with these images or things that he struggled with and things that he had done, he would lean towards drinking and drugs. And he would have went out drinking and come home, and me and mum would be at home, and dad would have got real aggressive and things would just set him off. So mum would get in the way and say stuff, and then dad would hit her, and I'd run down, being a real young age, not knowing what's going on, just to see what's happening, and would see mum in pain, would get in the way of them, and then dad would then eventually hit me. And this was a real struggle for me when I was younger, as it would be to anyone. It really caused an issue because this was my dad who was hitting me. The guy who's supposed to show me like the most love from a young age is the guy who's caused me a lot of pain. So we had moved to England at this point, and we thought moving to England or over here would be a real help, but it seemed to just get worse when we got over here. Things like the party culture was just worse over here, so dad would go out more, drink more, and come home and the same thing would happen. And mum remained faithful somehow throughout this relationship and really just prayed for dad and prayed for him. And my dad actually eventually came around to becoming a Christian, but I was 10 years old at this time and really struggled with understanding how my dad could just become a Christian out of that, and I had felt too much pain from him, so I didn't want to listen to him and his story about him becoming a Christian and him telling me these things about Christ. So I went on into high school and completely resenting my dad, resenting my family in general. Why could my mum just accept him back like that? So I went away from all that and found my path led into drinking as well. So I, at a young age, around 12, had my first drink and was getting like badly drunk and ended up leaning into drugs as well and doing bad things with my friends. And it was what I ended up finding my identity in, as well as rugby. So with all these things, I thought I was the big man around school. I ended up becoming really good at rugby and played at a high level and just thought like this is what made me, and I didn't need anything else in life. And then at around 16 I had a really bad injury which took away a lot of the things that I had, so I couldn't play rugby anymore, and all the friends that I went out drinking and going clubbing with just suddenly disappeared because I couldn't do any of that with them, and I was left with nothing, and everything I had to put my identity in had suddenly just disappeared. And I had nothing to be with, and I just felt completely depressed. And in this moment it was when my dad really got alongside me, and he came into the living room one day, I remember, and it was during my injury, and I was sat there and my dad came up to me and was like just talking me through the things that he'd done, was apologising again, and came up to me and said that he loved me. And it was one of the first times that I heard him say that, and it really impacted me so heavily. And he told me about the gospel in that moment, and he led me to Jesus Christ, which is really amazing. And from then on I've seen a change in me and my family. That guy who was angry and resentful towards my family suddenly became so open. It felt like the pain that I experienced had been lifted, and all the resent that I held towards him had just been lifted, and I just felt completely free, and I just felt the freedom in Jesus Christ that nothing else had ever given me. So that's my story, and that's how I found out that I was made for more.